Hello, everyone. I'm Bo from Brutal Commentary, and today I'm going to be breaking down the fight card UFC Noche, which is this Saturday, September 13th in San Antonio, Texas. Also, this week we have a huge clash for the world of boxing as Canelo Alvarez takes on Terrence Bud Crawford. That is going to be a very important fight. I'm going to be covering that fight as well as, of course, like I said, UFC Noche, which is headlined by Diego Lopez versus Joan Silva. I'm looking forward to talking about both those fights in two different sports. But first we have the rest of UFC Noche to talk about. So first up on the card, our prelim opener, if you will, Rodrigo Seninando versus Daniel Donchenko. So this is actually the welterweight finale of this season of The Ultimate Fighter. They were supposed to fight at UFC 319. I believe it was Santiago got injured, but it wasn't that badly because they just had to move a few weeks up. So now both guys are healthy, in shape, and ready to see who is this season's other winner of The Ultimate Fighter. We already had the flyweight winner back at UFC 319. Rodrigo Sandinato is 8-1 as a professional, 4-1 in his last five. Donchenko is 11-2 as a professional, and same with Sandinato, 4-1. Actually, ironically, their records are very similar. Both their latest fight was a loss, and now both are riding 4-fight win streaks. So that's definitely something I suppose a little interesting when you come to mind, like how MMA fighters, so sometimes the records literally mirror each other. But going over all their skill sets, Sandinato, during his time on Tough, had probably the most consistent performance out of everyone in his weight class for the welterweight bracket. More specifically, he utilized a lot of his wrestling and grappling to basically win minutes off the clock, win rounds, and overall just have kind of I wouldn't say dominant decisions, because his semifinal fight was a close split decision. But overall, I thought he had probably the most well thought out approaches to his fights out of all of them, especially Donchenko, which I'm going to get to in a minute. Sendinato's best skill so far, what I've seen, is his position over submission jiu-jitsu. Now, usually that means a fighter will gain top control, like mount, half guard, somewhere along those lines, and keep chest to chest pressure, and not really like risk going for like an arm bar or an arm triangle or something of that nature, because oftentimes what's going to happen if a fighter can get out, it leaves the person who tried the submission in a bad position, and it's possible that they get reversed or they wind up on their back, or their back gets taken. Something along those lines would happen if you fail a submission. That's just bound to happen, especially in MMA. Meanwhile, Donchenko, during his run, is a lot more chaotic. I would say a lot more fun visually to watch. And it kind of matches with his style. He's a fun, chaotic striker with vicious, slashing elbows, crushing knees in the clinch. Overall, a very reckless approach, but he has a really good chin. Of the only two losses on his record, those two are decisions, and so it definitely shows he's got good durability. And I definitely think he's going to charge in against Sandinato. Overall, it's more or less striker versus grappler. Now, Sandinato does have good power, and one thing that's been a proven equation in MMA: you have good takedowns, it leads to good striking opportunities. Because if you have good takedowns and your opponent's more worried about you taking them down than they are about getting hit, then you can fake a level change to an overhand, and that usually breeds success. That's like how, say, Khabib dropped Conor. Now, I'm not saying these two are of that level, but it's still MMA math at an equation. Good takedowns, striking opportunity. Overall, I wouldn't say it's consistent versus inconsistent. Not at all. I'd say it's more chaos and damage oriented versus control oriented. Now, I see these two definitely I see most of this fight being contested on the cage. Either it's Rodrigo looking for the takedown and using some like sweeps or trips or something of that nature, or to get Donchenko down to the ground. While at the same time, if they're in the clinch, Donchenko is going to try and cause as much damage as possible. That's and a big thing about when it comes to like how you think this fight's going to go. It's if it goes to the decision, how did the judges score it? Because let's say Seninando has a lot of minutes of control. Like he gets the takedown on Donchenko and he has top position and he just rides out the round. But if Donchenko is able to cause a lot more of the visible damage, like either causing a cut or visible swelling, something of that nature, what's generally going to happen is damage trumps all. At least that's how it's supposed to work with the scoring criteria. So I could definitely see Donchenko causing a lot of damage, but at the same time, Seninando has a lot more control time. The biggest thing when it comes to this fight, and I can only get the answer once this fight happens in the first round. 1, how quickly does Seninando get a takedown? And 2, how long can he keep Donchenko down? Because if he can keep him down for majority of this round, like 3-4 minutes of the 5 minutes for round 1, then you have your winner, Seninando, by a grinding decision. But if Donchenko can escape, stuff the takedowns, and in general just stay elusive on the feet, then I see him winning this fight. As for the odds, Donchenko is a minus 225. Seninando is a plus 175. Not a big fan of these odds because I think it's a little closer than that. Seninando's proven that he's a good game planner, and more so he just fights at a smart tactical pace where Donchenko doesn't. But I suppose you also got to think Donchenko's a much more violent fighter. He's a proven finisher. Most of his wins are by finish too. Of his 11 fights, only 2 are by decision. So he's a proven finisher. And he trains at a good camp too, Tiger Muay Thai, with guys like Rafael Fiziev, even in his corner, like Petr Yan. So he definitely has some world-class training partners. Overall, I think I'm going to lean the side to damage over control. So I'm going to pick Donchenko, and I think this is going to go to the scorecards. Seninando, when he gets hurt, which isn't very often, at least not what I've seen from the regional scene, nor on the Ultimate Fighter, he's very smart at recovery. He's very smart at not giving his opponents distance in order to continuously hurt him, and of course, hunting for the takedown. But overall, I just think Donchenko has the tools to sway the judges to his side. That's mostly why I think he's going to win this fight. So I'm going to pick Donchenko via unanimous decision. I see it's a close fight. I see it like 29-28, somewhere along those lines. But again, I still give him the nod over Seninando. Oh, but that is what I believe is going to happen. That is my prediction for this fight. If you like the video, comment and subscribe. I'd like to hear how you think the fight is going and who you think will win. Next up, we'll have Alice Pereira versus Montserrat Rendon. But until then, I've been Bo from Brutal Commentary. I thank you all for listening. I'll see you next time.